What is going on, everybody? Danny here. Welcome back to episode number 59 now of the Leeds United Career Mode. We're into the almost 60th episode now, which is absolutely crazy. Mad support you guys are showing on the series so far as well, so thank you all so much for that one. But in today's episode, obviously in the last one, we knocked out Spurs out of the Cup, which means we are through to the EFL Cup final, in which we will be taking on Sunderland towards the end of this season. So hopefully we'll be able to win that and get ourselves another Cup competition in our hands. We kicked this episode off, though, with a game against Manchester City, who in the last episode signed Paul Pogba from Manchester United. The 88.5 million transfer from one rival to another is going to be playing against us here as Manchester City come over to Ellen Road to take on undefeated Leeds United. Looking to continue our unbeaten run in the Premier League so far. We're doing pretty damn well in the Premier League as well, if I do say so myself. So that first position, 15 wins, 7 draws and 0 losses so far. So very, very commanding stuff from ourselves. All I wanted to do here was make sure we did not lose. I ain't fussed about getting a draw. I will take a draw here if it meant we didn't lose. But this Manchester City side, I have spoken about them in the past when we've come up against them. They've obviously named a weaker side in times when we've played against them in the past, and I was very, very disappointed in Pep Guardiola for that one as well. But he took me seriously this time, because you're going to see the United side is a very strong, the City side, sorry, is a very strong one. They have Paul Pogba lining up in midfield, 90 million almost for that man. But it's still a very strong side. You know, Walker, Company, Mangala, Clichy, midfield three of Gundogan, Pogba, and I think Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, Aguero, and I think, was it Sterling as the front three? So a very strong City side, and one that I cannot, take any chances against. And it was Man City who actually had the breakthrough very early on in this one. 8 minutes in, Sterling takes a strike on. I don't know what on earth my defence and Leno are doing, but in the end it ends up being put into the back of the net by Ilkay Gundogan. And I have to say, I was utterly disappointed to concede a goal like that to kick this episode off. So I was very disappointed, not only in myself, but for the team as well, to concede something like that when we're unbeaten. Just really showed me that what on earth they were doing, I have no idea. But 11 minutes in, we almost got ourselves straight back into this one, winning a free kick on the edge of the box, which Eriksen is undoubtedly going to step up and take. I want to apologise as well for the recording that you can see. It's a bit shimmery and some bits are cut out. The reason for that is the Elgato at the time was messing up a little bit, but I still wanted to get you guys the episode out, and it does it occasionally through episodes. I don't know if you've noticed it in the past, but sometimes it does it when I'm not expecting it to. When I go back and record the footage, it's completely fine, and then when I go to edit it, it then shows it up in the editing software. But again, I can't do anything once it's done at that point, so my apologies for that. But 24 minutes in, Joe Green had an effort to try and get ourselves back in this, but Joe Hart was equal to it. And 33 minutes into the game, Man City were then handed a red card as Fernando brought me down. I have no idea what this was actually given for, or at least at the time when I was playing the game, I didn't have a clue. However, looking back at it, he did actually sort of try and tackle me when he lost the ball there. So Man City down to 10 men meant that we could go a bit more attacking in this game. We had to get ourselves back into it, and get ourselves back into it we did with Anwar El Ghazi. Man City at this point, it was so easy to open them up, and it's to be expected. You know, when a team goes down to 10 men, if you can't open them up, you're probably not going to get anything out of the game. The fact that we were 1-0 down before Fernando did that stupid mistake, which is probably going to cost Man City the win here today. If it's going to cost them a loss, then who knows? We'll have to wait and see if we can get ourselves another goal. But the fact that they were leading 1-0 and Fernando makes a stupid tackle like that, he didn't need to make that tackle. Man City were in control of the game up until that point, and I really couldn't break them down. So I have to say, very poor from the Manchester City man. But we were trying to get ourselves ahead in this one as 57 minutes in. Hart called up on to make a good save, and I think we whip in the corner from Eriksen. And it's actually won by us in the middle again. But unfortunately, in the end, I think Hart does make another save here as Joe Gomez gives it out wide, I do believe, to Eriksen again. Eriksen down this left-hand side, gives it inside to Origi. Origi turns, I do believe, on the edge of the area in the end as he tries to feed it out to Hernandez. Hernandez picks it up into El Ghazi. El Ghazi spins on the edge of the area, turns, takes a strike on, but a lovely save with Joe Hart's feet keeps the score at 1-1. 73 minutes into the game, then Eriksen gets the ball in Manchester City's half, gives it to Emre Moore. Moore back to Eriksen. Eriksen into the path of I do think De Siglio picks up the ball, gives it into El Ghazi, and at this point El Ghazi sees the run of Origi being made, doesn't choose to go that way, cuts it inside to Eriksen. Eriksen takes the strike on and strokes it into the bottom corner to make it Leeds United 2, Manchester City 1. 10-man Manchester City as well, 77 minutes into this, and I have to say, guys, I firmly believe we would have lost this game had Fernando not have done what he did in this one. I couldn't break Manchester City down in the opening few minutes of it, and it was City who were creating the better chances in it until Fernando did in fact get sent off. However, when he did get sent off, it meant that we were then on top of the game. And when you've got Eriksen in your team, I've spoke about him numerous times during the series, how good a goal-scoring midfielder he is. It means that you can get chances that you don't normally get, as Origi should have made it 3-1 here, but a lovely save yet again by the Englishman. Joe Hart kept the score at 2-1. Into the 90th minute now, and Manchester City almost stole themselves a draw here. Raheem Sterling brought down in the area, plays on as John Stones takes the strike on, but it hit the post behind the goal and not the post in between the sticks, which meant that the score stayed at 2-1, and we picked up ourselves the full 3 points from today's game. I have to say, Pep Guardiola was very lucky in the respect that he was on top for most of the game, and his Manchester City side were on top for most of the game. But I have to say, I am thoroughly over the moon with how my boys played when they did, in fact, get them down to 10 men. We controlled proceedings here as soon as that happened, but I have to say, like I said, if Fernando didn't get that red card, I believe he would have personally lost that game, and I'm not sure if that red card really did swing it. And in my opinion, it did. It swung the game massively because City were on top for the majority of it up until that incident happened. And when it did happen, I was over the moon because honestly, I didn't know how to break Manchester City down when they had that side out. So again, it comes down to we will be meeting teams like Manchester City in the Champions League next season. So if I can't break them down personally in that one there, it's going to be tough in the Champions League. But we always know it's going to be tough going into European football. There's always going to be that bit of toughness there when we go into the European football. For some reason, when we took on Leicester here, I decided to change it from rain into overcast just because I don't personally like playing in rain. If I can avoid it, I will. But I like to keep it there sometimes to make the series a bit more realistic. But at the same time, I was at the point where I just, like, for some reason, throughout the day, when I was playing FIFA, I didn't want to play in rain, so I actually switched it there. I don't ever do that normally when I'm playing career mode. I normally do it offline and stuff, you know, when I'm not recording it for YouTube, so then that way I can just play without the rain and you don't have to embrace it. But for the sake of the career mode, I normally leave it on if it's raining. But for some reason there, I don't actually know why I switched it, but I did in the end just to switch it to overcast, just to make sure that way it wasn't raining during this one. We did, in fact, have our second game of the episode here up against Leicester City, a very tough opposition, obviously former champions of England in real life, yet to do it again on this career mode so far, but you know, there's still time. They've been up there for the last couple of seasons so far as well. I think last season they were up there when we, in fact, finished 8th. They're up there again this season as well. You can see they're down in 3rd place at the moment. So this is a vital game for us, or a very important one at least, because if we win this, it means that the 2 teams below us are still chasing us, and we will still be unbeaten in the league. You can see the Leicester City side about to pop up on your screen. They still have a number of recognisable names there in the form of Mahrez or Brighton. I think Vardy's still there as well, but I can tell you guys right now, Musa is a pain in the ass to play against. If you've ever played against him on FIFA, in Ultimate Team as well, he's just so annoying. You can see Jamie Vardy is in fact on the bench. They went with Slimani and Musa up front today. Musa, man, causes me absolute danger every time I play against him in this career mode. Musa seems to be the one that I just simply cannot contain. And he started off this game for Leicester here in a similar type of form. I can tell you right now, I absolutely hate playing against Musa because he does stuff like this. 11 minutes in, picks up the ball, goes past 1, goes past 2 after it's a poor defensive tackle by me. That you know, takes 2 defenders out of the game, goes past 3, goes past 4, and then takes the strike on. And if that had gone in the back of the net, I have to say, I would have been absolutely annoyed with myself. But he went past 4 of my defenders before taking the strike on. This guy is an absolute handful to play against, and I hate coming up against Musa because every single time I played against him, he does a similar thing in every single game. But 14 minutes with the corner whipped in, it comes into a dangerous area. We don't clear it fully in the end. It comes to a Leicester City player after Remy. Poor pass out to, I do believe, Kamaru, who actually had to play on the day due to fitness. Schlupp goes inside to Amati. Amati back to Musa. Musa then again causing me danger. Plays a lovely ball into Amati. Amati should have scored, but Leno keeps the score at 0-0. So I'm very thankful so far in the opening 20 minutes of this one to my goalkeeper, because without him, we would have been losing this game, as in the end it falls to one of the Leicester centre-backs who takes his strike on. But it's high and wide of the post, which is to be expected from a centre-back. But at the moment, it's all Leicester in the opening 20 minutes of this one. We did, in fact, get ourselves a chance in the first half, 22 minutes into it, as Remy, spinning on the edge of the area, goes into an advanced position, takes a strike on, because I really had nothing else to do, but it was pretty much straight at Zila in goal for Leicester today, and it was very, very poor in the end by me. We did get another chance before the half-time whistle came, as Kamaru into the path of Eriksen, Eriksen into, I do believe, Remy. Remy takes a strike on, but he didn't get any power whatsoever behind it, and it was a simple save in the end for Robert Zila in goal. In the end, we go into the second half now, and honestly, it came at the hands of Eriksen, the next best chance, as Eriksen spun on the edge of the area, took the strike on. He scored one earlier on in the season against Leicester, a very similar sort of positioning, but this time couldn't do it, and that was all the game had in store for us. So a 0-0 draw here on the day. I have to say I'll take it, because Leicester, as you can see, matched us in every single part of their play today, barring possession. But all that matters is what you do with the ball. Leicester won the league last year with something crazy like 36% average possession, which is just mental. So you have to say, although possession, you know, told a different story, in terms of chances, Leicester matches there, and I will happily take a draw out of that one, you know. Our unbeaten run still continues, and you have to say as well, the opening 20 minutes, they should have really gone in at least 1-0 up into the half-time whistle. Our chances weren't that convincing. They were only really half chances, whereas Leicester's were big chances, and Leno kept us in the game there. So credit to my goalkeeper. When you've got a man between the sticks as good as Bernard Leno, you're in for a shout no matter what game you're playing. As you can see, doing a bit of training before the end of the episode. Another 2 games in today's episode. Apologies for not having another third one like I normally do. It was because normally during the transfer window, I only do 2, and then when the transfer window's up, we go back to having the normal 3 games per episode. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, smash that like button. As always, I want to thank you all so much for the support you've shown on the series and on the videos themselves. I've been Danny, and I'm out. Adios!